Roxo Media House.
Jeff Wilson started covering the Texas Rangers in 2008, though he'll never forget 2021. Out on his own, he decided it was time to do a podcast, but his wheels were spinning until a nerd came along. There's no going back now. Welcome to the Texas Rangers Baseball Podcast. Here's your host, Jeff Wilson, and the recliner nerd himself, John Moore.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Texas Rangers Baseball Podcast. This is episode number 40. Today, Jonathan Ornelas. Jonathan Ornelas is in the AA with an infielder with the Rangers, part of that 2018 draft class.
That's right.
He is tearing it up.
Oh, my gosh.
He is tearing it up. We're going to get to him in a little bit. Got to talk about the big league. Where is AA? Are they in Arkansas?
They're in Arkansas, yeah.
Okay, so he'll join us Zoom in just a second.
Yep.
Got to talk the big league team. A few things have happened since the last time we were on here. There's been some roster moves. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, right behind me, Sam Huff is now at AAA. The Rangers felt like he wasn't going to get enough at-bats with Mitch Garver, who's back.
Right.
DHing, there's not enough room to, finagle at-bats for Huff, so they brought up Mabris Viloria,
right.
Who is not a prospect. He's a handy guy that you need to have around, and
a true backup.
They aren't concerned about his development like they are Huff. So
right.
Huff is down. Josh Smith came off the injured list. So he and Duran are now both on the roster. And then if you watched the game Wednesday, you saw Smith in left field.
Yep.
Make a really couple, definitely one very nice catch on a Kyle Schwarber fly ball. He had to run a long way. And then also you saw him make a mad dash around the bases. This guy can do a lot.
He scored
a
on
lot
a
of
single.
things. He scored on a single. He was running on the play, but and it really wasn't even close. They threw home, but he was safe easily. So yeah, roster moves.
Part of that goes to Beasley too. That was smart. He saw that. He saw that he was backhanding it and did that.
Glenn Otto's going to be back in
Sunday?
in the National Series. So everyone's getting healthy. There's going to be another roster move to accommodate Otto. Taylor Hearn is out of the rotation. Not a permanent demotion. It sounds like he has an opportunity to win the spot back, but for the next few cycles, it sounds like he will be coming out of the bullpen, two or three inning stints.
You and I love Taylor to death. He's one of the friendliest guys on that team.
Been on the show here.
Yep, he has. But in all honesty, he's right now he's struggling. That's just reality.
Sure.
He's still got the strikeouts. They're there. He can miss a bat, but you know what? When you fall behind and things happen like that, when you have to come over the plate, I don't care how hard you throw or what you do if it's not moving or whatever. So, but Garver being back, we talked to Woody about Garver. That's a decision. They've got to make a decision here with the next couple of weeks. If they want him healthy to start next year, he might have to have a surgery. The Huff thing was understandable because let's be honest, you need Heim has deserved to be the starting catcher. Starting catcher means he's going to start all week except for a couple of games, which you're going to to spell him a little bit. And you were trying to split time with Huff. You could move him to first base a little bit if you needed to, or DH. With Garver back getting the DH at bats, it was understandable. Huff needs to hit every day.
Well, and Lowe was hitting well, and Lowe also hits left-handers better than right-handers. So that kind of takes away a platoon thing for Huff. So it makes sense. The move makes sense. It really does because they value Sam Huff long term. If Sam Huff realizes his potential, if he hits his ceiling, he is an all-star catcher.
Yep.
He's a guy who's going to hit 30 to 40 home runs and be a good defensive catcher. Those don't grow on trees every day. So, Garver's got one more year of club control left beyond this season. So you could be looking at a Heim-Huff catching duo for a long time after next season.
Yeah, and honestly, just like you said, if they felt that he had played it out, he's the top he's going to be, he's not going to develop, he might still be sitting here not getting at bats, just being the backup catcher like Mason will be now that he's here. But no, they want him getting everyday ABs. That's what they want.
Yeah, and on the Garver situation with his injury, he still hasn't thrown since like May 5th.
Right.
Whenever they were in New York, there's no indication that he is going to throw anytime soon. I think the Rangers want to give it a chance to see if they're going to be in contention. They're 2 games under 500 as we sit here today. They're off on this Thursday. 3 games coming against the Nationals, who are no good. So, they have a chance to get to 500 this weekend. But to get into contention, what's that going to look like?
Yeah.
with the wild card, it looks like it's going to be American League East teams, or maybe if the White Sox get rolling, maybe then the Indians have been really, really good.
Yeah,
so maybe a team from the Central goes. It looks like, with the Angels crash and burning to earth here, I think that it would be a stretch for the Rangers to
make the
position
wild card,
themselves as a wild card team, and then
and they're not going to catch the Astros.
And then what are you?
Right.
Do you want to hurt the future, the season you think is going to be really good next year,
right,
for a chance at a very unfavorable matchup in the wild card series? So I don't know. You get into the tournament, you never know what can happen. Look at the College World Series. Ole Miss barely got in, and now they're in they're still running. So
Oklahoma did the same thing.
Yes.
Kind of came at the end there and won the Big 12.
Anyway,
tournament.
that is a decision though, because the surgery to repair a flexor tendon takes 6 to 8 months recovery. So
right.
If you want them ready for opening day, which presumably will be, let's say, April 1st, you don't want to wait much past September.
I think they're trying to play to see where they go. If they get on some kind of stretch to go, look, the Rangers aren't just going to fold the tent. If they actually do get in sort of contention and see that this thing's going, they have said that they feel like they could contend and be in there, but they're not going to be stupid with it. Any moves they made, you and I have talked about it last week and this week again, it's probably going to be a long-term thing. They're not going to be trading for a rental player at all. That's just not going to happen. So it's going to be interesting to watch what they do the next couple of weeks. They do have a good chance this weekend to get going.
Yeah.
And then I think next week they go to KC Monday and they're there for 3 days. Then we get an
they go to
break.
the Mets. Then they go to Baltimore, and then they come home and get the A's and Mariners. So I mean, it's a pretty friendly schedule to get to the All-Star break. And you never know what will happen. One thing that is helping is John Gray back here, one of our guests here just about a month ago.
Right,
pitching well. The Rangers have a pretty legitimate 1-2 punch at the top of the rotation that they can feel good about.
Right,
with Perez pitching the way he's pitching. Gray felt like he took a step back yesterday. I don't know. I mean, he gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings. He wasn't too thrilled with his location on some of his pitches, but he still did pretty good, and against a team that has seen him a lot.
Sure.
He his entire career in the National League, and Bryce Harper's been in the National League his entire career.
Yeah.
Same. Nick Castellanos has been in the National League the last couple of years, so they've seen John Gray.
Yeah.
And he did a pretty good job, I thought. I thought he was a little hard on himself after the start.
And let me say something about the young kids. So part of the reason the Rangers didn't sign more starting pitching during the offseason, which they said they weren't going to do, they really expected the back end of this rotation to kind of play itself out, because the top pitching talent they had is at the top levels of the minor league. It's just nobody's really stepped up yet.
Yeah.
One guy's moving. We're going to talk about him in the minor league segment. He's moving and getting close, but nobody, Wynn, Leiter, you got Bradford down in AA that was some people thought too. Latz that was in AAA who has had some good.
Alexi struggled.
I
mean, the guy who could take Taylor Hearn's spot is Spencer Howard.
Sure.
And
who's had a decent outing, couple.
Yeah, his last start, 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, no walks, scoreless innings. He's allowed runs in 2 of his last 20 innings. Now, one of the innings he gave up 6. But
right,
if he in his next start at Round Rock this week can replicate what he's done, I would expect that he would be starting in Taylor Hearn's spot the next time it comes up.
So it looks like a fun one, guys. Look, the Rangers are hanging around. That's good. They are obviously playing better than they did last year.
Yeah.
So this is a fun one to watch. Guys, get down there, hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. We need you to subscribe to this thing. Yeah, wherever it is down here somewhere, hit that subscribe. Join Rangers today. Got that? $5 a month.
Yeah, and we're recording this today on the 23rd of June. The 24th, tomorrow, is the day that I launched my Substack.
Yep.
So this is the 1 year anniversary. 1 year. And we've made it so far. I'm very happy with the feedback and the response it's gotten. Could always use more subscribers. So
absolutely.
$5.99 a month, $60 a year at rangerstoday.com. I mean, good stuff.
Year round. And we do it year round.
It's year round. And so subscribe to that too.
Yeah.
Put shoes on my kids' feet.
Yeah, and it goes from the top to the bottom, guys. We do minor league. He does minor leagues all the way up to the big leagues. We've covered the minor leagues probably more than most anybody out there,
No,
especially the big
anybody,
public. Anybody in the
Baseball
public.
America and then us. Yeah.
Yes, and Baseball America has outdone Rangers today. But other than that,
but Rangers specific now.
No. You're not going to get as much
America
Ranger
beat.
stuff as that. Okay, guys, we're going to bring on Jonathan here in just a second. After Jonathan's on, we'll go down in the bus leagues. But we'll welcome Jonathan Ornelas here right now.
Jonathan Ornelas.
5 homers today.
Socked out of here. That's number 5.
Yeah.
448 feet from Johnny Ornelas. Over the in-touch home run terrace, 106 miles an hour off the bat.
A tough play, gloved by Ornelas, throws all the way to first, they got him!
All right, everybody, and joining us right now from Arkansas, where the Frisco Roughriders are playing, it's Texas Ranger infielder Jonathan Ornelas, who is on here for one reason. He is tearing up AA. Jonathan, what's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, how's everything? Glad you guys can have me on.
Yeah, I'm glad you could come on. I mean, I know you're so sizzling hot. We don't want to disturb your routine or anything, but I know you like to sleep in late.
No,
so
not at all.
Never. I hope you got your sleep. It seemed like it was a quick game last night, so hopefully you're rested and ready to get back out there.
Absolutely, ready to go every day.
So what? I know I talked to you a few weeks ago and did a story at rangerstoday.com. You've actually raised your batting average since we talked. What's going on, man? What has been working for you here, basically all season, but especially the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's been more and more of the same. Just trying to keeping it simple and try not to think too much when I'm at the plate. Trying to see the ball, hit the ball, even though there's so many factors that go into all that stuff. But trying to keep it as simple as I can. Okay.
Well, I mean, you're making it look simple, so that's a good thing. But what?
Thank you.
What? You and I talked about it. You kind of made a swing change, or found a routine and made a couple changes last year that kind of took off at Hickory. What is it, do you think, that's making things, aside from keeping it simple, that's making things work?
I think it would be kind of establishing a good routine, kind of like I have started towards the end of Hickory last year, like you said, and I guess this whole year so far, and just I think confidence has also been a big thing for me. Like last year, I felt at the beginning of the year like when you struggle, confidence is a little down, but this year I found that whether you go 0 for or whether you go 4 for 4, like you should always be confident because I mean this game is already hard enough.
Yeah, and 0 for 4 can be three screamers, that were hit right at somebody, and is that how you kind of view your success? I mean, I know it's nice when the ball lands on the green or goes over the fence, but if you hit the ball hard, is that good enough for you?
Absolutely. I think barreling the baseball is a big thing. Like, regardless of success or not success, for me, barreling the baseball is always a big thing, especially since last year I kind of, I guess, barrel to baseball was a little less, even on base hits. So this year, trying to find the barrels as often as possible has been good.
One thing I know you did say, I thought it was pretty funny. You're staying back. You have your weight kind of to your on your back leg, and you said it feels like it's back there forever. That it just feels so weird to you, but it seems like that's also helped you elevate the ball.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. It's kind of hard to explain. Whenever people ask me, I try to keep it the same answer, but it's kind of hard to explain. But basically, it's like, for me, I've always been such a front foot type of hitter that every time I try to keep extra balance or more weight on my back leg, I guess, it feels so weird and different. But even though it feels weird and different, it puts me in a good position to put the barrel on the baseball and then have a consistently good swing. So as weird as it might feel and all that stuff, I guess it works. So can't really say too much bad about it.
So you talked about your routine, and we talked about it a little bit for the story. I found it pretty interesting that you're a right-handed hitter, but you always try to take left-handed at bats, whether it's live or flips or whatever, just to get, as you said, the other side of your brain working. How does that help you?
So I guess I read an article about it that I guess it does really activate the other side of your brain that you really don't use, since we're always such dominant righty hitters. So, and then I talked to Donnie about it in spring training, and he said not only is it good for the other side of your brain that you really don't use, but it's also good for the other side of your engine, to like learn how to accelerate, decel, all that good stuff with the other side that you normally don't really use on occasion, especially since, we're always taking all these right-handed swings. So it's good to kind of activate that other side from the left side, with whether it be 5-10 swings, but kind of good to activate that part.
Oh, it makes you more athletic. It makes you use muscles that ordinarily you don't use. And,
right.
The kind of hitter you are and the good defensive player you are, you need to be athletic. So, I mean,
right.
good for you for doing that. On the defensive side of things, you said, you're naturally a shortstop, but you're kind of comfortable everywhere, right?
Yeah, I'm starting to try to learn on all positions that can be valuable to my career. So I really like the middle infield, but I don't mind playing third base and some outfield.
Yeah. Help me out. Have you played outfield this season?
I've played once or twice. Yeah, I played center once or twice this year.
Okay. And you're kind of the captain out there. You're the guy in charge. So that seems like something that would appeal to me. I always like to have a little bit of control.
Not at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you guys, as a team, started out pretty well. You've kind of gone through a up and down patch, but man, there is so much talent at Frisco. What's it like every day showing up with guys that, yourself included, are charging toward the major leagues?
It's a fun time, and I can't complain. I mean, with all those guys, I mean, there's guys from all age ranges, so it's fun to play with those guys. It's fun to learn from majority of those guys that have more service time than I do, and it's good to be on a competitive team. It just brings out the best in everybody, So it's a blast. The guys, even off the field, there's good team chemistry. Like, we love to spend time together, whether it's on the field or not on the field. So, I mean, I'm having a blast here in Frisco, and then everywhere we've been so far has been pretty cool. So, and no complaints about all those places.
So when you're on the road, you're in Little Rock right now, the capital of Arkansas. The Bill Clinton Library is there. I've never been. I don't know if you're a big Democrat and a big Clinton guy. I don't think you. I don't know if you were even alive when he was president. So what do you do? What do you do on a road trip, whether it's in Tulsa or Arkansas or wherever?
Yeah. So usually, depending on the place that we're at, we usually try to explore a little bit during the day before we got to go to the field. Hopefully we have like once or twice where the bus is a little later, where we just have like a cage day and then we'll play. So we'll have time until around 3 or 4 o'clock to kind of explore, and we'll go out to a lunch and then try to find place like a downtown or like a farmer's market where we can walk around and do some sightseeing and exploring and stuff like that. So, but other than that, I mean, we don't really have much time to do anything else. So it's kind of show up, play, get your rest, and then do it all again the next day.
You do you have a favorite place that, like, whether at any level, any town that you've gone to, you're like, holy cow, I thought this place would be a dump, and it's actually really cool?
I think I want to say I really liked Wichita more than what I kind of thought it was going to be. Like, I went in thinking like, oh, it's Kansas, like it can't be all that, but it kind of surprised me. There's kind of some nice stuff around. There was a little like carnival type thing when we were there, like I don't know, like a little fair. So it was pretty cool to see that going on. And a lot of people were at the fair and at the games, and then post games we see a lot of those people at the fair. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Wichita is the largest city in Kansas. It's not Kansas City, because only part of Kansas City is actually in Kansas. Yeah. So it's the big city in Kansas. Yeah. I mean, it's known for some like tornadoes and some weirdo fundamentalist Christians, but it's not a bad town. It's not a bad town.
No.
All right, so I'm done with my part. I just asked about the baseball. John here,
I like to have fun.
He gets into the fun personal stuff. So he's gonna start asking.
I gotta ask this before we even get started. Have you ever hit one out left-handed while you're taking BP?
So I have in the past, but I haven't really done lefty swings on the field in a while. But we've been talking about it. We have a couple guys who were lefty switch hitters in the past, like I was. So we were talking about doing it, kind of like having a day where we kind of just had a lefty home run derby, whether it was like arm or like a nice little fastball off the machine. And some of these guys are into it. So, I mean, whether it's just for fun or whether people want to put some money on it, I don't know yet, but we might do it at some point this year. So hopefully we'll get a little laugh out of it. Strom is a guy who has a really pretty left-handed swing. And then Duran was a guy who also had a nice left-handed swing and had some power on the lefty swing, but he's no longer with us anymore, so he won't be able to be part of that. But the other guy who we did it with in spring training was Chris Cease, who's in Hickory right now. So
yeah,
there's guys who can swing it left-handed too.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, Duran's going to have the big bucks, though. I mean, now that he's making that major league money, you may not want to put too much money on it.
No, yeah.
All right, here we go. So you're from Glendale, Arizona. You graduated from Raymond Kellis High School. Did you play any other sports when you were growing up?
Yeah, so I played football until about 8th grade, and then I kind of had a little incident where my mom was like, "Yeah, you're never going to play again." So it stopped me from playing football. And then I started playing basketball when I was going into my freshman year and kind of learned how to play basketball and all that stuff, and played until my junior year. So I played for 3 years, and then senior year it was like, okay, time to take baseball pretty seriously. Like, so no basketball senior year, unfortunately.
What's this incident?
Yeah, what happened?
What's this little incident?
It's a funny story. So we were in a playoff game in elementary school, and it was only flag football. In school they don't really like to get rough, so it was only flag football. And I was a receiver, so I went down the field for a pass and went up to catch a ball, came up with it. On the way down, the corner fell on my chest and kind of knocked all the air out of me, and I was it was hard to breathe for a good 5-10 minutes. So my mom had to come on the sidelines and make sure I was all good. And it was kind of a big deal to her. So after that moment, she said, "Hey, you're done playing football."
When they put the pads on, it's going to be worse. So you know,
it was a good career choice.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, so she definitely made that decision for me, and I'm sure it was probably the best decision.
Yeah.
Okay, so you committed to the University of Tennessee. Any other schools that you had interest in or you thought about going to?
Absolutely. I had a couple schools that I was really interested in. I really liked Oregon. When I went down on my visit there, it was a great time. I mean, the facilities are unreal. All the stuff that they get is awesome. But it was kind of like Oregon for an Arizona guy, like such a difference in climate and in the state in general and the surroundings, like going from sunny every day to gloomy and rainy. And I just felt like kind of wasn't for me. I really like sunshine. I really like uplifting and happiness. And Oregon didn't really feel like the place for that. And then Arizona, U of A was also a big one for me. I really loved it. Really loved Jay Johnson. He was the head coach at the time. And I had a really nice connection with them. They had a lot of guys who were my buddies at the time that were committed there. So it was kind of hard to stray away from U of A. But ultimately, Tennessee just did it for me. I mean, it was kind of awesome seeing Vitello as the head coach doing the recruiting instead of having guys go out and watch players for him. It was kind of cool to see him going out and doing it all, being a hands-on type of person. And then at the visit, having conversation with him and all the other coaches and seeing the SEC facilities and all that good stuff. I mean, it was just kind of a no-brainer from there.
Okay, I got you.
All right, now the Rangers, they took you 2018. You're taken in the third round, 91st overall. First off, let me ask you this. How did you find out you were drafted?
So my agent had gotten a call who was with us. He was with us that week, the weekend that the draft happened. And he was the one to tell me, he said, "Hey, the Rangers are going to take you right here. Like, we can figure everything else afterwards, but like, this is the moment." And like, it's kind of still hard to believe because it can happen. It can't happen. But like seeing my name like pop up on the screen and all that good stuff. I mean, it was life changing. It was amazing. Like my family, we were so excited. And I mean, it's just it's hard to describe a moment like that. You have to kind of have to live it. And it's awesome that happened to me because not very many people get to experience it. So I'm super grateful for all that's happened.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, let me ask you this. Did you think, were there any other teams that you thought might be in on you that might pick you earlier than that third round that you were wondering?
Yeah, the Cardinals. My agent got a call from the Cardinals, and they had a pick earlier in the draft. I don't know if it was earlier in that round or earlier in that round or earlier in the round before, but they had called and said that they had interest in me, and then the Diamondbacks as well. That I kind of didn't hear until after the draft. So I think there was a couple teams, but ultimately, I mean, I'm happy with the Rangers' decision and how it's all played out.
So, I mean, taken in the third round, I mean, let's be honest, you're one of the top 100 players in the country at that time to be taken in the third round. So let me ask this. When was it you first noticed that scouts were coming out and scouting you and you thought, oh, my gosh, I got a chance to go to the next level? How old were you when you first had scouts approaching you?
So my very first scout approached me, I think at the age of 16, 17, maybe. And I had no idea what was going on. Like, pro ball, like I didn't even know pro ball really like existed until I kind of started to do some digging. Like for me, it was I remember my dad telling me like on road trips when we would go play and I was younger, travel ball and stuff, he would say that I would watch college baseball and stand right in front of the TV and say, hey, that's where I want to play one day. And so, I mean, I had no idea knowing that pro ball was like the next level above that. So I kind of started to do some digging like, hey, I met some guys and started doing some digging and learning and stuff like that. But I didn't get too much attention from the draft until about my junior year in high school. It was kind of, I think, after like area code going into my senior year that I kind of was like, okay, like I might have a chance to get drafted this year instead of going to college. So it took a little while. My growth was a little late, but I mean, I'm happy with the way it worked out.
Yeah, you can't complain.
Well, and you're a young 22. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but you've always been a little bit on the young side at every level you've played at. So I think that's something else to consider. You've been challenged. You've been playing against guys who could be your older brother. You know, not your father, not yet, but your older brother. Hey, your draft class was pretty good. You know, Cole Winn, White, you. Mason Englert.
Was Huff in that draft?
No, Jace Easley. Huff was 16, I think. Tim Brennan. I think they're and then Jax Biggers. There's 4 guys on the Frisco roster right now who are from that draft class and from the top 10. So that's I mean that's a pretty good darn little class.
We know asking this so Huff is a little bit older than you. Did you play against Huff in Arizona when you were young?
I don't believe we ever in high school. We for sure didn't because I definitely know I would have remembered him. But we might have at some point in travel ball, but I can't remember. I remember actually meeting him after my first year in the AZL in the instructs, and I was like, "Wow, who's this guy? Like, he looks big time." And I was like scared to like go up to him and introduce myself because I had heard he was from Arizona, and I heard he was like from like the Arcadia, Scottsdale area. So I was like, I mean, this guy, like we've played against those types of schools. Like, I wonder if I actually played against him. And I finally had a conversation. I had a buddy introduce me to him. And I mean, Sam Huff's just the nicest guy in the world. And I don't know why I was scared to ever introduce myself to him. But I mean, he's the nicest person ever.
Right. He's like this gentle giant.
Yeah, he really is.
He'll talk your ear off.
So you're drafted as a shortstop, but obviously you're probably the most talented guy on your team when you're a third-round pick coming out of there. Let me ask you this. Guys that are like that are that good athletes, did you pitch any at all, or would you strictly just play in the field?
Yeah, so funny story. I was actually committed to Tennessee as a two-way.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah. In high school, I threw a little bit. I wasn't a big ghost, like a long type of guy, but I could throw 1 or 2 innings and run up the velo there. Like I was up to 95 in high school.
Holy cow.
I think it a little bit. And I was our closer in high school for my junior and senior year. The year that we won state, I threw the last, I think like almost 3 innings of the game, and I couldn't feel my arm for the next 2 weeks. It was, I mean, I came out chucking it. And then the last couple innings that I had to throw, like a couple outs that I had to throw, I remember like, I just want to get through this. Like I'm starting to feel it. Like my velo went from 93, 95 to 86 in the matter of an inning.
I can imagine. I'm telling you, if you don't do it all the time.
Yeah, but you got the ring, right? You got the.
You did.
Yeah, for
you got,
sure.
you know, Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah.
Who he was shortstop closer for his team, and you know he's from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But I think I saw him hit 95 a couple times. So. Yeah,
but
you run across Bobby, you guys can compare your fastball.
Absolutely, but yeah, like you said, you only had to. You were used to just going in and doing it for about 10, 15 pitches in one inning, getting you 3. So outside of baseball, what do you like to do outside of baseball? Do you hunt, fish, play golf, anything? What do you like to do outside of baseball?
I've kind of recently gotten into golfing, but it's a lot harder than it looks. Especially when
no kidding.
Yes, we know.
Like, how can I hit a baseball that's coming at me at 95 plus, but I can't hit this little golf ball that's sitting on a tee? And so it really annoys me, and I really get mad when I play golf. So I've been kind of straying away from it because I really don't like to do things that I'm not good at. It's kind of uncomfortable. But in the off season, I really just like to spend time with my family the most that I can, since during the year they'll visit once or twice a year, but it's kind of hard because my brother's always playing as well, and then my dad's working, my mom's working, so I try to spend the majority of time with my family, my grandparents, everybody. But I'll get out there and do some stuff. I'm not a big hunting, fishing type of guy. I guess none of that was really taught to me from as a young age. But I mean, I'll get out and do some physical activity that's not baseball. Like, I'll play some volleyball with the family and some hoops and stuff like that, because I still love hoops, even though I can't really get too serious with it anymore. But
can't get in there and start banging around under the boards, man. Not when you're a pro athlete.
Well, and it's hard to fish in the desert.
Yeah.
It's hard to fish there.
Yeah, so okay, let's get into some fun stuff here. What's your favorite type of food that you like?
Oh, Mexican food for sure. I'm a little biased, but Mexican food for sure.
Now, have you had some Tex-Mex here in Frisco? You like some of that?
Yeah, I like some Tex-Mex, but I haven't really found a good place in Frisco. I mean, you guys have some recommendations for me, because I think I need them.
Yeah, that's your neck of the woods.
That's up kind of near me. I don't know how far out you guys travel. There's good places there.
I like Media. It's a place I've been in Frisco.
Okay.
Maybe you should go. It's not Tex-Mex though necessarily. It's more probably stuff more that you're used to, but it's pretty good.
Richardson's, I live in Richardson. Richardson's probably about 20 minutes from you guys, right down the highway there. But Dos Charros, a good little Mexican joint.
All right.
That's a good little Mexican joint I like to eat at. Okay, favorite fast food. What's your favorite fast food?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I'm going to have to go with, and this might piss a lot of people off in Texas, but I'm a big In-N-Out guy. Huge In-N-Out.
You're from Arizona. It's all right.
That's fair. In-N-Out's, it's more in Arizona than Whataburger for sure.
That's a regional thing. Have you had Whataburger?
Have you had Whataburger?
I've given it a shot, and it's good. It's good. I'm not gonna lie about it. I mean, it's got its ups, but.
Okay, so what do you get when you go to In-N-Out?
Yeah, what's your go-to?
Give me a nice double with grilled onion, and give me some fries, and then sometimes I'll give me some animal style fries, but I usually just like to keep it on the unsalty side, on the healthier side. If healthy,
you got to eat healthy at a place like In-N-Out, sure.
You've won with Brian here. She's in studio working for us. She's all high-fiving there.
That's the one thing I do like about In-N-Out. They have that secret menu, like the animal style. You can double cook the fries and get them extra crunchy. So I like the double cooked fries with animal style. That's how
In-N-Out. I mean, look, Whataburger is my choice. I think it's where you grew up. I grew up a Whataburger guy, but I like In-N-Out burgers, and they are good. I mean, I stop down and have one every once in a while. Okay, what's your favorite home cooked meal, and who cooks it? Does Grandma make something? Does Mom always make this for you? What's your home cooked meal?
I would say all time, Mama's cooking has done it for me, and it's like a Mexican dish. It's pollo. It's like pollo asado. So it's like chicken on the grill, chicken on the grill type, and it's like chicken legs, and then she'll make sopa de fideo, which is like a type of soup. It's like, I don't know how to describe it in English, honestly. but it's like
We'll say it in
soupy. It's
Spanish.
like
We'll
a
figure it
soupy,
out.
but it's not like all soup. You know, it's like I don't know. It's like really hard to explain. And then with beans, and it's really good together. The chicken that she makes comes with like a little salsa that she makes with it. So it's amazing. That's my favorite home cooked meal that she makes, and I'll ask it for her. I'll ask it from her all the time. Like, Mom.
Oh, it's
our one of our.
I think she said when she came out to visit me here I think she's coming out hopefully within the next month when we're in Frisco. She said she was going to bring everything she needs to make me some food when she came out here. So I'm excited for that.
Joel here is going to join. He's going to come over there and meet your mom. He's over here.
Our sound guy.
The more the merrier. The more the merrier.
Joel, your dad's from Mexico. Yeah, his dad's from Mexico, and he's over here fist pumping, pumping his fist everything you were saying about the cooking.
Oh yeah. I'm going to join you too. I'm close.
Well, what's your favorite Mexican restaurant in like the West Valley, where Glendale, Surprise?
Yeah, you got a
Peoria.
place there you hit?
Yeah, tell me where to go eat.
To go eat, you said?
Yeah. Where? What is your favorite
West Side,
Mexican restaurant?
I really like Headquarters is a good place. It's like a restaurant bar type place. Like late at night, it turns into kind of like a bar. But I'm gonna say there's a taco truck that I really love, and that's kind of the place that we go if we ever eat tacos that are not from home, that are not like homemade. And it's called what's it called? I can't remember exactly the name right now because it's been so long since I've been there. But it's right close to it's right off the 101 in Grand, and it's a taco truck, and it's phenomenal.
Okay.
And I'll figure out the name for you guys, and I can send it down. But I mean, taco trucks are they're money. Phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to play the home run game. 3 home runs we're going to talk about, okay? First one, your very first home run you ever hit over a fence. Where were you, and how old were you?
Okay. I was 11 years old, and it was I think it was Little League, and it was at a church field that I hit it, and all the fences were 200 feet all the way around. So it didn't matter where you hit it. If you hit it, it was going to go. And so I remember hitting it dead center, and the church had a big net behind it. So that way it didn't really, no balls hit the church or went into the parking lot and hit a car. And I remember hitting it and celebrating around the bases. Like before the ball even landed, I was like, I hit this ball very well.
You knew.
And this is before I hadn't even known what pimping was. So I guess I pimped before I even knew what pimping was.
It's in your blood. Nice work.
All right. The second home run. So the second one, now this could be high school, this could be minor leagues, is your most memorable, your most exciting. Did you ever have a walk-off? Did you, anything maybe in the playoffs in high school? One where you hit a big home run. What's your biggest home run you've hit?
Okay, biggest home run. I think I'm going to say definitely in travel ball when I was in high school. It wasn't 1 home run, actually. It was 3, and it was the only 3 home run game I've ever had. And it was in a travel ball tournament, and we were playing in Arizona against a very good team. And the team that I hit the 3 home runs against was actually the team I ended up playing for after I was done with the Stealth. I played with Nolan, Libby, and a bunch of those guys. Then when we were done, that team kind of ended. We all went our separate ways. I played with the Warriors, and that's who I hit the 3 home runs against. And that's kind of that was a good time. I hit it against a lot of my teammates. I hit homers against them in that game that we had played.
So the coach was like, "Go get that guy that hit the 3 home runs against us."
Yeah, that was a good recruiting tool right there. That's how you do it. Okay, last one. This is a fun one. The bomb. The furthest one you've ever hit. The moment you hit it, you knew it was gone. And where was it? And how far do you think it went?
Okay. I think it happened this year, and it was either the very first I hit this year. I think it was that one, actually. So I'm going to go with that one. And it was 112 off the bat, 113 off the bat. And I hit it, and I'm not a big I'm going to sit in the box until the umpire tells me to run and bat flip and that type of stuff. So I remember hitting it, and I just set my bat down, and I kind of gave it a little look, and then gave a little 2 skips, and then put my head down and ran. And I knew that ball was gone. I mean, I had no doubt in my mind. I mean, I had a good launch angle to it. The ball kind of took off the bat, and I hit it very well. So that was the one that I think the distance it said was 453, 452, and I
Wow.
think this year.
Where were you guys?
Was
Were you
it
at home?
Frisco?
Yeah, it was in Frisco at home.
Okay.
Okay, so
Awesome.
where did it go in the stadium?
I think it left the stadium. It went over the home run porch in left field, and I think it either went into the tree or over the tree. So I think it might have left the stadium.
Nice.
That's a bomb. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a bomb. Been out there many times. That is a bomb. Good one. Okay, last question. This is the last question. This is the fun one. We've got some good answers we've had on this. It's what's something that nobody knows about Jonathan Ornelas. I don't know if you've ever listened to this or if you've heard some of the answers. You can go give Jack Leiter a bunch of crap because Jack Leiter does not like peanut butter. Have you heard about that?
I think he has told me. He's my roommate in Frisco, so I think sometimes I've pulled out a can of peanut butter or somebody has make a PB&J, and he's like, yeah, I can't do it. So
He immediately throws up.
But I don't think I've heard him say I don't like peanut butter. I just think it's always like no, I'm good. I don't want to eat it.
He hates it. He told us he hates it.
Yeah, he hates peanut butter. His mother told a funny story. It's like Davis Wenzel got his finger cut off.
Yeah.
When he was little.
The tip.
Yeah, just the tip of it when he was little. We've had some fun, good ones on here. Brock Burke, who's in the big leagues, is a sleepwalker and scared some people. What is something nobody knows about Jonathan Ornelas?
Okay. Wow. I really don't really call me by surprise. I'm gonna have to think a little bit. Something that nobody knows about me. I think.
Stumped him.
Hey, Blaine Krim liked to hit naked. Was that what it was?
That's right.
Yeah, Blaine Krim hit naked when he was 5 years old. He'd run around his house naked hitting with the wiffle ball. You got to give him some crap on that one.
You stayed dressed.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that.
This is a tough question because I don't know. I'm such a talk to everybody about
You're an
everything
open
type
book.
of guy. I don't know if I really have anything that I've never really shared.
Well, here I've got one. Explain your Twitter handle.
Okay. So the Twitter handle is Hootie_John, and Hootie is basically it's from a movie, and I can't remember exactly what movie it's from. But me and a buddy in high school, we're remember, I think we both watched the movie, and we were like in the dugout, and somebody was doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. So we were like, hey, let's have a code word. So if coach comes back and you just say it and you don't have to say, hey, he's coming, so the coach knows. So with the code word ended up being Hootie. So people were just screaming Hootie, Hootie, Hootie. And we ended up making that Twitter handle. And me and my buddy, his name is Alfonso Gutierrez. So his Twitter handle ended up being Hootie Goot, and mine was Hootie John. So that's kind of the story of how Hootie kind of came into play. But it's from a movie, and I can't remember exactly what movie it's from. But yeah,
nothing to do with Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Darius Rucker. It's all
a
movie. But that's great that you had to speak in code to keep the coach off your ass.
Absolutely. That's what you got to do when you're young.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jeff?
No, just keep doing this, man. You're just killing it this season. And
yeah,
it's
we love to see you guys tearing it up and doing that, Jonathan. We're proud of you. Good job there, and we can't wait when you get up to the big league clubhouse and we get to give you. I'll come out to Frisco too, and I'll come out and say hi. Sure.
I'm gonna come the next homestand. Next homestand, I'm coming. Book it.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys soon.
All right. That's Jonathan Ornelas, infielder for the Frisco Roughriders and the Texas Rangers. Jonathan, thanks so much, and have a good game tonight, bud.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
All right, bud.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
See ya.
Roxo Media House is a streaming and production company located in Fort Worth, Texas. From video to podcast production and social media broadcasting, Roxo Media House strives to deliver a dynamic media experience for clients and fans. With 15 shows, we have something for the whole family. Join the Roxo Media community today.
All right, that was Jonathan Ornelas from Arkansas who joined us right there. Thanks, Jonathan, for stopping down. Guys, it's time to go down in the bus leagues. We do this every week when we go down. We start at the minor league, start at low A, go all the way to triple A, touch on them. Down East, low A, the Down East Wood Ducks, 32-33. They're 5-5 in their last 10, won a couple of games. If you're going to talk about anyone down there, it's Emilio Toto. Last night, he went another 5 scoreless innings last night, struck out 6. Another guy you pointed out to me in spring training, and good Lord, he is on it.
Well, and Coriel, who the Rangers got for Montero, he threw 4 no-hit innings after that. So there's some very good young pitchers down there, and Teodo's very intriguing. Winston Santos is another guy. They both signed for $10,000. I mean, the Rangers have found these guys. They're young. They have maturing to do. Santos appears to be a little bit further ahead. Teodo hasn't always been a pitcher. When the Rangers got him, they kind of turned him into a pitcher. So he's got a young live arm. There's not a lot of bullets, not a lot of mileage on it.
Right.
But yeah, he throws hard.
Yeah, he throws triple digits.
He's working on his off-speed stuff, but it's at that level, it can be pretty dominant. Santos, his best off-speed pitch is a changeup. Velocity 93 to 95, which is up from when the Rangers signed him. But again,
right.
When you talk about scouting and developing guys to go find these guys in the Dominican, whether it's at smaller academies or certain situations, they have a deal that'll fall apart, and they'll sign for $10,000, and to take a guy $10,000, the Yankees, Ezekiel Duran was a $10,000 signing.
Yeah.
So there are hidden gems out there, and
just need a chance.
The scouts uncover them and then develop them.
Yeah, the scouting is we need to get a scout on here sometime, because I'm telling you right now, those guys amaze me how they find some talent the way they do and do that. Obviously, on the hitting side, on the offensive side, Osuna still leads the way with batting .310.
Yeah.
Some of the young kids that are there, Cauley, that we've had on here. He's not tearing it up or anything, but it's first full season.
He apparently is dealing with a sprained finger right now.
So
Ian Mahler is struggling at the plate, but apparently his catching has been fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's probably a little bit more important at this stage. You wanted to see him have success at the plate, but he's not letting what looked like pretty rotten numbers affect him on the defensive side.
Well, there's one guy that's not in Down East anymore, and he is up at where we're going to talk to next. Hickory. Hickory's 38. That's high A. They're 38-27, 6-4 over their last 10. They've won their last 2. They have a new starting pitcher. Larson Kendrich has been promoted.
Yeah, the 8th round pick last year from a little school in Southern California called Biola University, left-hander. Good, he has a very good curveball. Just a good pitcher, and he was a little older for some of those Down East kids. So Hickory will be a good change of pace, good challenge for him.
Good numbers there.
Yeah, and of course he's taking the spot of Owen White, who was bumped to Frisco. But that team's pretty good. That's probably the best team in the organization. Just really good talent. Some guys who are advanced hitters like Zavala and Trevor Hauver. Acuna's just Acuna's got to be moving up pretty soon. I would suspect
hitting 320 with a 960 OPS.
I would expect a couple weeks
to see him head up to AA.
We headed up to Frisco, and then Evan Carter's
hit a home run and a triple the other night.
Yeah, he had
3 for 3.
a 6 RBI game. He's kind of picked it up after getting some a few days off to kind of reset and recharge his body.
Vanasco last night he went scoreless over 3 1/3 through 82 pitches.
Threw a lot of pitches.
Yeah, he walked 3 guys again. Struck out 4 over 3 1/3. He's starting to find it again.
It's getting better.
He's starting to find it again. It's location for him right now, and I think velocity's starting to climb again.
Yeah, and we asked him to come on the show either today or next week, and he said, "Look, I really just want to focus on baseball right now." So he's got his mind in the right place.
Yeah, it's an off-season thing for him.
Yeah,
Let's let him get going. And Ricky has a huge upside. So he's and you talk about a kid who's come back from Tommy John. He's really getting into it. Focusing. It's good to hear that too. We'd love to have him on, but that's good. Okay, Frisco 34-31, 6-4 over the last 10. They've won 3 in a row. They have a new pitcher we just talked about. Owen White has made the jump to AA. Probably one of the bigger names this year as far as what there's one that's done better. But making the jump, we've kind of expected this.
Yeah, and there was some debate before the season, and the same thing with Acuna. Do the Rangers, did they want to start him at high A or did they want to start him at AA? And he did what he's supposed to do. You put him at the lower level, say, all right, kick some ass, and then you'll get promoted. And it might have taken him a little longer than they had wanted. He struggled a little bit, but
right at the start,
you look at the stuff. It's terrific. ton of strikeouts and the velocity. And so, he just had to find a groove, and he did. And again, he's a guy who didn't pitch a lot last year because of the injury. And that, this technically is his first full professional season, because he had the Tommy John and didn't
after the
didn't pitch
deload program.
didn't pitch in 20, and then last year, first start, 3 innings in, he punches the ground and breaks his hand. So this is the most he's ever pitched, but after what he did in the fall league, he's kind of continued that momentum.
And I still say one of the coolest accents ever with that Southern North Carolina accent. We had him on, guys. Go watch one of those older shows. Just a good kid. Good to see him get the promotion. Ornelas, who we had on. Look, the numbers: 342, 7 home runs. Yeah. 861. You don't ask any more of a kid. 22 years old, like you said, a young 22. Yeah. It was great having him on. What a great kid. But man, he is opening eyes.
Yeah, he is, and one thing that's really going to help him is his defensive ability, and he very well could be the minor league defender of the year. He's that good, and he does it at a lot of positions, and he works hard. He's got a big, his engine's always revving, and good for him. When I talked to him for the story I wrote at Rangers Today, he didn't want to call it a breakthrough year because he kind of felt like he's been pretty consistent, but it's like consistent like 250, 260. He's raised his average basically 90 points, 80, 90 points, and it's been consistent this year. This isn't just some fake hot start. It's now almost the end of June. They've been playing for almost 3 months, and he's still batting 340. So this is a real deal.
Yeah, so he started hot and stayed hot. He has come all the way across. Looked at some inside numbers on Leiter. Everyone concerned about Leiter, his ERA. The guy's pitched 44 innings, 56 strikeouts. That's what you expect from Jack Leiter. Again, this guy is a future major leaguer and probably a top of the rotation guy. Right now, his first full pro season. I'm still not worried about him.
Nobody in the organization is worried about Jack Leiter. He's healthy. The stuff's there. And he may not agree with this, and because he likes to get results and win games and dominate guys, but
that's not important.
He's also getting work. Yeah. I mean, he is trying to figure things out to get to the final level, which is the major leagues,
right?
And that's fine. You can look at other prospects who've come to the majors and have had lights out starts to their season. This is his first season. He hasn't pitched a ton really in his life as an adult, and he's going to be fine.
Yeah, and one thing too that people have to always take into effect. You got to look at the inside numbers. Walks were obviously a concern. He's had some base on balls, but sometimes your defense in some of these levels, some of those balls get scooped up at the higher levels that don't get scooped up in Double-A. So that's why it's never about total ERA and what happens there. It's strikeouts over walks and what happens.
Process.
It's the process of it.
Yeah. Guys aren't hitting the ball that hard against him. That kind of thing.
As we go up to Triple-A, there's a new starting pitcher in Triple-A.
Yes.
Probably the one guy that has made the biggest leap of anything right now, and that's Cole Reagans, who not only made the jump to Triple-A, he's already started. He's had 13 innings pitched in AAA, 2 earned runs and 15 Ks. And, he just keeps going.
Yeah, looking at the clock here, I'm supposed to talk to him in 25 minutes. He's on the map. I mean, of course, last year he was like the feel-good story, the 2016 first-rounder.
2 Tommy John surgeries.
2 Tommy John surgeries. Basically, 3 or 4 years hadn't pitched. Then he comes out, pitches very well at Hickory, makes the futures game.
Right.
Comes to Frisco, struggles a little bit. He was exhausted because he hadn't
thrown that much. Yeah.
Now though he's stronger, he's throwing harder. His changeup is still terrific. He said he's throwing a cutter. He was a guest a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And so he's now a candidate to be in the rotation this season. In the world of what have you done for me lately, he's probably at the top of the list. I know Cole Winn is still a guy.
Yep.
Still somebody who
will
obviously will be a big leaguer. His ERA, I think, is 5.3. That's probably about league average in the Pacific Coast League.
Right.
All things being honest, very very offensive friendly league. So he's walking too many guys. His fastball command hasn't been great. He's gotten behind and he's had to throw the ball over the plate, and it's hurt him at times. But with Reagan's, it's just it is a feel good story, but now more so than the feel good, it's now like, hey, holy cow, this guy could maybe pitch in the major leagues this season.
Absolutely. And I think we all thought that Reagan's might be someone to watch who could possibly earn a promotion up and maybe make it to the big leagues. Now you're going, okay, keep doing this. He will be in the big leagues by the end of the season. I mean, those rotation spots at the bottom of the big league rotation are there to be taken if someone wants to step up and do it.
Sure. I mean, there's already one. I mean, what we talked about earlier with Taylor Hearn. That's open.
Yep.
And if he doesn't reclaim it, or if Spencer Howard doesn't solidify it,
because we expect Howard to get that next start.
But
there's some off days though. That's
not this weekend, but like to open the Mets series, he might get that start. That's the next time that would come up.
And he's going to throw one more time in AAA, and if he continues to do what he's doing, then that could happen for sure.
Yeah.
So if you look at what Reagan's has done in Frisco, he was 6-3 with a 2.52 ERA. Now he's got a 1.38 ERA, but he's just now got up there. Don't expect him to go out and pitch scoreless innings or 1 or 2 runs every time. He's finding his way there, but you know what? He doesn't walk a lot. He's really throwing it over the plate, and that's what you got to do.
Well, in the league ERA in the Texas League where Frisco plays is also over 5, and his was half that.
Yep.
I mean, so if you account for park factors and all that stuff, I don't know how you do it, but it's like he probably had a under ERA under 2 in a league that's more neutral.
On the offensive side of the ball, nothing standing out right now. No one's punching the door there. The guys that are in the big leagues right now. So, I mean, there's nothing, but there are some good bats down there. Guys that have been in the big leagues that are still playing down there. Willie Calhoun has not stepped up in his situation down there. All in all, the minor league system is a strong system all the way. You can see future major leaguers at every level now.
Look, when the organization rankings come out next year or maybe later this year, the Rangers are going to be top 5. There's no question about it. And we haven't even mentioned Josh Young, who's swinging a bat in Arizona.
Has he started swinging?
Yeah, will probably be active in late August. Probably is when he is going to be in games. It's probably at AAA. They haven't DHing. They haven't ruled out him making his major league debut, depending on where things are with the team. So, look, this farm system, it really is going to be and not just next year, for a few years now, coming up into the future. It's going to be a top 5 system.
Yep. All right, guys, anything else before we get out of here?
No, just the usual reminder: subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button here. We are at we're inching toward our goal of 1,000 subscribers. As far as Rangers Today, I'm inching toward my goal of 50,000 subscribers. So we got a long way to go to get to 50,000, but you guys can help. So it's $5.99 a month or $60 a year. Cheaper.
You can gift it if you know anybody. If your dad, if your husband, if your grandpa, whoever it is that loves the Rangers, you can gift it. Send it to them. They'll start getting the emails every morning.
Yeah.
Great way to get up. I get my cup of coffee every morning and read my Rangers Today.
We're cheaper than any outlet out there. We're cheaper than the Morning News, which does a good job covering team. We're cheaper than the Star Telegram, which
doesn't cover the team.
If you're subscribing to the Star Telegram, you're burning money.
If you're a Ranger fan, because they aren't covering them.
Burning money on anything. So anyway, rangerstoday.com.
Yep. Well, guys, that's it. Thanks to Jonathan Ornelas for joining us from Arkansas. We'll be back here next week. Can't tell who's coming on yet, but until then, guys, we'll see you at the yard.
Roxo Media House.